And part of that living our spiritual teaching, as well as teaching that spiritual living, is our work with our practitioners. So I invite Reverend Leslie to come up and honor the practitioners for the day.
Thank you, Susan. It's Practitioner Sunday. So once a year, we take one Sunday to really, really love up and celebrate our practitioners and our practitioner students. So you might ask, and people often do, what is a practitioner? I'm so glad you asked. A practitioner is a person who has dedicated their life to spiritual study and to the principles of science of mind in walking them out in the world through their thoughts, through their prayers, through their consciousness, and through their service here at the center and beyond. So this is someone who literally takes living spiritual teaching as the core value of their life, and they have the education to back it up. In order to become a practitioner, again, common question. So glad you asked. In order to become a practitioner, one takes a minimum of 6 prerequisite CSL classes, so the kinds of classes that we see all the time being talked about in our invitations and our highlights. 6 specific of those classes over a course of a minimum of 2 years. And then they meet with one of their ministers, generally me, and demonstrate that they have the consciousness anchored to move forward. And then they have 2 years, 60 weeks of classes and training and significant amounts of homework and prayer and spiritual practice and study and role-playing and doing the work and practicums and papers. Man, we work these folks so hard. And at the end of 2 years, they sit in a panel and they are welcomed into practitionerhood by 3 ministers and practitioners who don't know them. So imagine the level of consciousness you have to be having to show up in front of people who don't even know you and have them say, yes, this is who should be a practitioner in the world. This is the voice and face of science of mind in the world. Another question I get is, how would I work with a practitioner? What do they do? What do these practitioners do? Well, they're doing it right now. They pray and hold consciousness for the entire community all the time, including during Sunday service. Right now, practitioner Ron Trundle from his home in Eugene, Oregon, is holding high watch for us because we don't believe that the divine is bound by time and space. They speak prayer for us. We just witnessed our practitioner, Marty, speaking a spiritual mind treatment, our form of affirmative prayer for us. They teach classes. You might have noticed, I believe in the announcements just now, they talked about Rachel Sartori offering a class, and many of our practitioners teach classes. In addition, you have the opportunity to work one-on-one with a practitioner in an individual session. This is a paid practice that's an hour to an hour 15 minutes focused right on what you want to be working on in your own consciousness. Remember that for later in the message. And then it is capped off with the most delicious spiritual mind treatment. So we are so grateful for our practitioners. I want to invite any practitioners who are present to come up on the platform. And then in addition, this is our core. Can you believe it? Our wonderful core of practitioners. So I just want to introduce all of them to you. So beloveds, when I say your name, if you'll give a little wave, a little hello. We have practitioner for 1 year so far, celebrating her 1-year anniversary, Maureen Garrity. Also at 1 year, we have the wonderful Rachel Sartori. Trish Karras is celebrating her 4th year with us. Now it gets exciting. because Tina Vlassi is celebrating her 5th year and gets her 5-year pin. Supporting us from her home in Prescott, our wonderful Gina Zamora is also at 5 years. Vernice Reyes is celebrating 12 years with us. Bill Sneed at 14 years. She's not with us today, so I'm going to send home her 15-year pin with her wonderful husband, 15 years for Jolene Bainey. Darlene Britton at 17 years. At 23 years, we have Practitioner Emeritus Marty Stevens. A true pillar of our community, if ever there was one. Our retired practitioner emeritus, who you may sometimes see praying with us, is Dave Peck at 23 years. Practitioner emeritus of 31 years, Janet Gottschall. And finally, celebrating with us from home, Practitioner Emeritus of 47 years, Virginia Fisher. Give yourself a treat and visit these wonderful folks for prayer over in the prayer zone after service. Thank you so much for all that you do. Hand down. Thank you all for honoring our practitioners.